All right, welcome back to EML 427, right? We stop at actually Unit 5, which is, we are going to continue from the Unit 5, which is Introduction to Educational Statistics. Now, I'll start with definition, explanation, and give example to educational statistics. All right, educational statistics is the application of statistical methods to describe, summarize, analyze, and interpret educational data. So it has to do with what? A method, right? So you have to describe, summarize, analyze, and interpret educational data. That is the definition of educational statistics. Let's say explanation. Actually, educational statistics help in decision making, planning, and evaluation. So after you might have conducted your research using educational statistic approach, you can actually what it can actually help you in making decision on what you needed to do, right? Planning as well. When you make the decision, you plan, and it also grants you evaluation to check whether you are on track or not, right? So it can be what descriptive. Remember, we say summarize that. You summarize the data through descriptive or inferential. Generalize the findings. Can you see? Example, let's say mean test score, that is the mean test score of a class, percentage of students passing a course. That means you are just looking at correlation between study hours and grades. Can you see? We know your student that study for a particular hour, and we group them into their own class, group another people into their another class. Then we're going to use correlation to determine their study hours and the grades they obtain. Can you see? Very simple as that. Then we have Unit 6. We're going to talk about descriptive statistics. So descriptive statistics actually it summarizes. Are you getting it? It summarizes almost round up and organize data to make it understandable. So in descriptive statistics, it summarizes and organize data. Can you see now? To make it understandable. That means for people to know what your research is all about. Because if you leave your interpretation at correlation level, most people that are not scientifically or research inclined cannot able to understand what you are referring or you are saying, right? Okay, so let's see in kind of descriptive statistics, measures include like central tendency and dispersion, which can be represented graphically using what charts and table. Example, let's say the mean average test score is 78. Media, can you see now? Media means middle score in rank test result. So if actually the average test score is 78, middle score in rank test score, which is the media, let's say is 80. Now most frequent score is 85. Range, that is difference between highest and lowest score, right? So let's say the lowest score there is what is 60. So the highest score, let's say, is 95. So you're gonna minus the what the highest score with the lowest, which is going to be 95 minus 60. You are left with 35. Can you see now? Then we have standard deviation, which you measure spread of score around the what around the mean, right? Okay, in Unit 7, we're going to talk about inferential statistics. Now, in inferential statistics, it actually allows researchers to make conclusion about a population based on what sample data. It actually allows researchers to make conclusion about a population based on sample data. So it allows us to conclude, to come to draw a line, say this is that. For example, let's say it involves hypothesis testing, confidence interval, and significance testing. It actually helps us to predict, can you see now, compare and examine relationship. Example, let's say t-test. trying to compare test score of two teaching methods. So you use your t-square to compare test score of two teaching methods. So we have, for example, like ANOVA, analysis of variance. That is, you compare performance across three different schools. Can you see? You can use ANOVA, that is analysis of variance, to do that comparison, to do your analysis across different schools. Then you can also use some of these statistical tools like chi-square test, which actually deal with association between gender and participation in class. So you can use chi-square between gender and participation in what? In class. Now, significant level, you can see probability P is less than 0.05. Actually, this one indicate the results are what? Statistically significant. There is statistically significance in the research. Example, if P is equal to 0.03, we reject the hypothesis and accept. Do you understand? So if significant level P is less than 0, it indicates that the result are statistically what? Significance. Example, if P is equal to 0.03, we reject, right? We reject the hypothesis. So now, that means we reject the null hypothesis, which is a HO, and accept the alternative. Are you getting it now? So that is it. We reject the null hypothesis, and then we accept. Then we reject the null and accept the alternative. Alternative. Unit A, we're going to talk about correlation and regression analysis. Now, correlation actually means you measure the strength and direction of a relationship between two variables. Regression actually predict the value of one variable from another. So regression helps you to predict the value of one variable from another. So explanation, actually correlation ranges from -1 to +1. Now, regression provides a mathematical equation for prediction. Example, let's say correlation study hours and grade have R, which is regression, is equal to 0.65. That means it's a positive relationship. Regression test score is equal to 50 times 2, which is a study hour. Now, predict score from study hour. Can you see? So, the unit 9, we're going to talk about research reporting and ethics. Now, research reporting has to do with systematic presentation of findings. So, when there is a presentation of finding being done in a systematic way, we call that research reporting. Why research ethics ensure responsible conduct? Can you see now? Explanation, let's say a report should be clear, accurate, and evidence-based. It should be clear, accurate, and evidence-based. Now, ethical consideration includes consent, confidentiality, honesty, and avoidance of plagiarism. Example, let's say you are writing a report on student performance in a pilot literacy program. Now, ensure anonymity of survey respondents. So don't actually ask the people to put their names. Make it anonymous, right? Yes. Then the unit 10, we are going to talk about application of research in educational decision making. Now, using research finding, it actually the application of this research in it is of research in education decision. It actually deal with using research finding to inform policy, curriculum, and school management decision. So that is what we talk about using research findings to inform policy, curriculum, and school management decision. That is application of research in education decision making. So let's say explanation. Research inform resource allocation. If you have carried out your research, it what? It actually helped us to allocate resources to those problems in order to solve them, and then it also helped to improve on teaching methodology and interventions, and it also provides what evidence-based educational improvement. So example, let's say using survey data to improve library source resources, implementing teaching strategy proving to improve student outcome, designing teachers training program based on research evidence. These are the outcomes for what we call educational research. Thank you. Remember to hit the subscribe button of my YouTube channel, and then if you want to support the institution, a door is open. Any amount you can support. Check the account number in the descriptive section in this YouTube video. Thank you so much. Have a great day.